Just the one by-election this week in Swansea, South Wales, Fairwood ward. Here's the result on the screen straight away. We'll get straight into it. And a Liberal Democrat win in the south of Wales. I didn't really do a prediction last week when we did the by-election roundup because I forgot. But if we had, this wouldn't have been one that I had called. So the Liberal Democrats come out on top here in Swansea. And look, this was a Conservative defence. And look where the Conservative Party ended up. We'll look at the vote share change in a minute. But like, didn't I say last week on the video, after we saw that big win for the Tories in Fylde, I said how inconsistent they are. And here they are again. Look, big win last week in Fylde. A good hold last week, if I remember rightly. I can't remember where. But good results one week, and then the next week a catastrophic result like this. So first to last for the Conservative Party in Wales. Now look, that's probably not that surprising. The Labour vote and the Tory vote both collapsed in the Senedd election 3 or 4 weeks ago, so it's hardly surprising, but still a very bad result for the Conservative Party. We'll talk about the Liberal Democrats in a minute, but Labour in second place. Now, as always say when it comes to Scotland and Wales, I'm a little bit unsure or lacking in confidence when I come to making my sort of pronouncements or whatever about politics in these places. But I'm maybe Reform are a little bit disappointed to not have beaten Labour in a historically conservative voting ward on Swansea Council. Look, no Plaid standing here, so considering that Reform and Plaid Cymru both just dominated the Senedd elections a few weeks ago, I would have thought that Reform would have done a bit better than this, but maybe Welsh viewers can get in the chat and let me know. And again, but considering it's a Conservative voting area, I would have thought Reform are hoping to do better, but then it has gone to the Liberal Democrats, so perhaps it's one of those Conservative voting areas. Look, I think we still have to kind of split the Conservative Party at the moment, because I don't buy into this narrative that they're back. I think the inconsistency proves that there's still a lot of problems for them, and I think that a lot of their votes are still up for grabs, and so you end up having to split the Conservative Party into these two different factions. Which area is more likely to go and vote for Reform? Which area is more likely to go and vote for the Liberal Democrats or indeed the Green Party, which we have seen in some places as well. So this clearly seems to have been the Liberal Democrat area. Go and look at the vote share change percentage then. I can also put that there so you can see it's a Liberal Democrat gain from the Conservatives on the right-hand side. So the turnout's not working because I don't have a turnout number just yet before I came to do this video. So apologies for that. I couldn't actually find the result anywhere. I got it off X, so I haven't actually found the vote numbers anywhere yet. So this is all raw numbers. So there's the vote share change. Look, the Tories down 40 points. Down 40 points for the Tories. This one, I mean, it's a catastrophically bad result for them here. This is also this is a heartland ward for them, really. I mean, this is a Labour-controlled council. It's been Labour-controlled, I think, for a very long time. But the Tories have had a councillor here in Fairwood since 2004 at least, and it probably goes back further than that. So, yeah, a very, very bad result for the Conservatives. And look, the Liberal Democrats are the main gainers, up almost 18 points. Reform also up 17 points. And Plaid Cymru didn't stand this time. Labour down 16 points as well. Is actually probably not too bad for them, really, considering the sorts of hits we saw to Labour in just the last few weeks. And, of course, across the local elections, we've become very used to seeing Labour losing more than 20 points, indeed more than 30 points in some cases. So for them to have held up's probably a bit too far, but to have only lost 16 points in Wales is not too bad for them. Again, get into comments with your thoughts and opinions on all of these changes here. So look, a Conservative loss to the Liberal Democrats, a very, very bad defeat for the Conservatives in Wales here. And yeah, let me know what you think with the Liberal Democrats. I didn't really have them. I wouldn't have had them, is my prediction, to win, but let me know what you think down below. Of course, again, if you are from Wales or even from South Wales, from the local area, let me know what you think. Your local knowledge is always most welcome and appreciated on this channel, because it helps colour things in where I can't. So that's this one, Fairwood Swansea, good win for the Liberal Democrats, and now we're going to have a quick look at next week. And we're going to Hawcote and New Barnes Ward, Westmoreland and Furness Council, right up in the north or northwest. And it's another Conservative Conservative defence. We'll see if they hold. Look, it's really difficult to predict things for the Tories at the moment. They're probably one of the most inconsistent parties that we look at. Like I've already touched on, last week in Fylde, big vote share increase. They got over 50% of the vote, very comfortable win. This week in South Wales, and they get slapped for almost 40 points and come bottom of the stack. So very difficult to predict what's going to happen. I haven't looked yet to see who's standing in this by-election. I assume Reform will be on the ballot. They tend to be on the ballot everywhere, which is always the threat to the Conservatives. They've only got a 6-point lead over Labour here in this ward, although I do expect the Labour vote will fall off sharply as well. Like I said, I haven't looked actually to see who's standing next week, so without that information, it's a bit difficult to make a prediction anyway. But I can't predict the Tory vote. I don't. Is it going to hold up in Westmoreland and Furness, or is it going to crater? You have to let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. I just think the Conservatives are still in this rut, aren't they? And I said on the channel for a long time, over a year, that I think the Tory party is finished. And I don't mean that they're finished in terms that they're going to cease to exist and go extinct. But I do think that they're finished as the main force of politics on the right. I think they are slowly but surely becoming a minor party. And look, at the moment, that may seem ludicrous to some because they're still the official opposition. They still have over 100 MPs. But, I mean, every Nowcast, every prediction of a general election that's happened since 2024 has them losing seats from their worst ever performance in 2024, losing more seats and going down to double figures out of triple figures in terms of MPs in the House of Commons. So I think the Tories are finished in the sense that I think that they've been supplanted on the right by Reform. Let me know what you think about this election next week. Who's going to win? What's going to happen to the Tories? Let me know in the comments, as always. And before we wrap up, because it's only a very short video, we will just have a very quick chat about what's been going on in Makerfield since the last time we spoke about that as well, because that's where, when we talk about Reform, you know, there's a little bit of a threat to them at the moment as well, isn't there? So we'll have a quick chat about Makerfield, but just before we do, just to reinforce the point that I just made, look at the Conservative number on the left-hand side of the screen there. This is the Nowcast from election maps, and they're forecasting that Conservatives, if there is an election held today, would win just 55 seats, losing 66 on their worst performance ever in 2024. So that's what I mean. I think the Tories are currently on just a slide, and I don't think they're going to get out of it, personally. But let me know what you think if you disagree with me. Anyway, Makerfield, and just to chat about it, really, what's been going on there since we last spoke about it. So the Nowcast still has Reform winning it. Now, bear in mind, this is just based off just based off of a general election, not a by-election. So this is not a by-election prediction specifically. This is just how the Nowcast models Makerfield if a general election were to be held. And it still has Reform winning by 10 points, but that, of course, is over a generic Labour candidate, not over Andy Burnham as well. So, but they're the only two in it, and I maintain that this will be a two-horse race. Look, there's been... So I thought I'd actually get up what I was going to talk about. I'm going to maintain that this is a two-horse race. I've seen this in the last week from GB Politics. Now, I think it's worth mentioning that GB Politics is quite closely aligned with Restore Britain, as far as I'm aware. Look, I don't go for numbers like this. I could be wrong, and I fully admit that there could be egg on my face, but I don't think that Restore will get 17% of the vote in Makerfield. I believe that it is going to be a two-horse race, Labour and Reform. I don't know how close it's going to be. I feel like it will be close, but you feel like it's probably a positive correlation between how well Restore do and how big the gap is between Labour and Reform. That's how it feels to me. I think there's a lot of enthusiasm around Restore at the moment. They have a very good online game. They may well have a very good ground game. It seems like they actually have got a lot of canvassers out. So it's very difficult to pass through the nonsense online because you see it from both sides. Okay, you see a lot of pro-Restore stuff online with them getting numbers like this. I've seen higher. I've seen a lot of some people saying they're going to get 40% of the vote. It's not going to happen. But then from the flip side, you see a lot of people putting Restore down, spinning out fake stories about their candidate dropping out. So it's very difficult online at the moment to really pass through and get to the real serious stuff. And frankly, we won't know until the polling closes and we get the result. That's when we'll really know. And from that point, we'll have a better idea of how serious Restore is going to be as a national force. If they get into double figures, then I think that's an extraordinary result for them as a new party. If for me, I would have said, considering the age of the party, I would have said getting their deposit back is a phenomenal result as well, to be honest with you. So we have to wait and see. I find it very, very difficult at the moment to really get through the nonsense, like I say, and get to what's actually going on. My feeling at the moment is that it's going to be very, very close between Labour and Reform. I think closer than this. I think there'll be less than 5 points in it. And at the moment, I feel like it might be edging towards Labour, but it's very, very difficult to tell. I think everybody's throwing everything at it. I think Reform are throwing everything at it. Obviously, Reform have been beset by news stories in the last week about their candidates. I don't know how much that really hits home with people, to be honest with you. I see that as, I mean, we'll find out when but I see that as, some of it, as, I don't know, I'm not all that comfortable digging through people's past social media posts to try and find things that should disqualify them from being elected. I don't, unless, yeah, I just, look, people say they want more ordinary people in politics, right? They want rid of the political class, and they want normal, ordinary people going into politics. Well, if you're going to start digging through people's social media posts, you're not going to get ordinary people, because they're going to be absolutely terrified that their name and their character is going to be dragged through the mud because of things they posted online years ago when they'd never thought of standing for election. So I don't really like this tactic of going through people's history and online posts and stuff. I'd much rather we just debated what people's thoughts, ideas and policies are, to be honest with you. But there we are. That's the world in which we live, isn't it? So yeah, I think it'll be close, Labour and Reform. At the moment, I feel like Labour might be edging it, but I definitely think it's there to win for Reform. Look, you can get in the comments and disagree with me by all means, but I don't think Restore have a shout of winning. I think double figures is the best that Restore can hope for. I could well be wrong. I fully accept that I could be wrong, and I'll have egg on my face if they do a lot better than that. But I reckon Restore will probably get around somewhere between 6 and 9% of the vote. And perhaps that'll be the gap between Labour and Reform. Who knows? But like I say, I don't go for the argument that Restore shouldn't stand and that Restore voters would vote for Reform if Restore weren't on the ballot. I don't think it necessarily works like that, as I've said before. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got to say on it for now. There's not too much else that's happened. Obviously, if there's another legitimate poll that comes out, like the Servation one, then we will cover it. I'll try and go live if I'm able to as well, like we did last time. Or not live, but I'll do it I'll do it in the immediate aftermath. In fact, actually, if you'd like me to go live, if I can, let me know in the comments if you'd like to have a quick live stream about if a new poll comes out. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I'll see you next week for that Westmoreland and Furness by-election. And there may be a video between now and then. I'm not sure yet. You have to hang around, subscribe, and find out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.